What is up, Retromaniacs? My name is Mike. His name is Joe. His name's still EP, and we are here to talk about cards. You know,
Yes.
New year, new us, right? Everybody's going to change this time of year. So we're going to give you our hobby New Year's resolutions. We will definitely stick to them just like I did last year. Joe, let us know. Get us started here.
Before we get started, I just need to ask you one question.
Sure.
Did you get a little into Stephanie McMahon, a little bit more into Stephanie McMahon in 2023?
No, I pulled out of that whole resolution because I couldn't.
Out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I wasn't sure. Okay. So my first one, I got a Ripp More. I want a Ripp More.
What?
Yeah. Okay, hold on, everyone.
Ultra modern football. Yeah.
No. I did not say that at all. No, I'm gonna keep. I rip a little bit, and you're gonna see some rips that I've done, throughout the year, with non-sports stuff. But like maybe ultra modern, but like non-sports ultra modern. Like I ripped some Star Trek last year, The Strange New Worlds. Like What If has a fun set that I think I might rip. Like the Marvel releases are just too expensive. Like the new stuff, like Marvel Masterpieces. There are some low end things, but like they don't really like jump out at me. But like if something like Fleer Ultra Avengers would come out again, like something similar to that set, I would be interested in.
I have an idea for you. The new James Bond is coming out soon.
Well, that's high end.
The Black Diamond. It's not
Black Diamond is like $300 for like 4 cards or 5 cards. but like Cheers. We talk about this as stupid as it sounds. I mean, Rittenhouse is doing a Cheer set. I plan on buying boxes of that. But I do want to go back and buy some boxes of some of the different DC sets that came out in the 90s, some of the Marvel sets that came out in the 90s. Silly stuff like that I know I opened up back then that I don't have anymore. So I just want to rip more. I want to get more. You can spend $50 and get a fun box of cards. Mm-hmm. On the high end for the Marvel, you can spend a couple $100 from the sets back then, get some nice cards. So I want to rip more, put them on the channel. And yeah, that's number one for me. Rip more cards.
I like it. And people enjoy those videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Marvel ones have done fairly well for us. The DC ones, they're hit or miss, but maybe if James Gunn turns the DC universe around, maybe people will start coming.
We give people ideas though of stuff that's out there and what they might be able to pick up and rip too. So that's what I like about doing.
And the cool thing about getting a $50 box of cards like that is you're not worried about hitting 1,000. I need to hit $1,000 card to pay for like half of this box, right? Like you're just having fun, and that's it.
I don't know if I made a joke or like on camera as I was ripping a box of, I think it was Batman Saga of the Dark Knight, which was his first standalone set in the 90s. And I made a joke that it was my most expensive box that I bought in this, little rip project I've been doing. And it was like $60 shipped. Right. And I said, and I'll probably get just as much value out of it as a box of 2023 Flawless Collegiate, in terms of profit loss kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, you're right. And you don't feel gross after you open up a box of $50, $60, comic book cards.
Right.
Alrighty, EP.
Well, my first one is a callback to our podcast last week. I brought it up then, and also was one of my resolutions last year, which I did not complete. And that is my NBA graded rookie cards project. This is a very long-term project where I want to have a graded rookie card of every NBA Hall of Famer that I watched play or that is played while I've paid attention to the NBA. I got 0 cards from that done last year whatsoever. So they're in this special at PSA, $15, and I'm gonna make sure I include at least one of my cards in the stuff that I give to Mike. He's going to put the other in order. So I'm definitely I'm going to mark this thing off my list first month of the year just to make sure I have added something to this collection this year.
Put a number out there. Put a
how
number.
Many I need to add this year?
How many you want to add this year?
Yeah.
I need to make sure I have enough to be able to send with you. So if I say 3, let's say 3. I'll add 3 to my
3. Okay.
3.
Sounds good.
We were watching. I rewatched this from when we did it last year, and EP said this, like he said, and I'm thinking there as I'm sitting there rewatching it to make sure I didn't repeat any of mine unintentionally. I go, Did he add any to that last year? 0?
Guess
Nope.
not.
0.
Wow.
0.
0?
Yep.
Okay.
Doesn't seem like it would be that hard, but
It really
what
doesn't.
people
No.
need to understand is EP works like 150 hours a week, and I'm only slightly exaggerating. So he has great ideas, but then he doesn't end up with any time to be able to complete them.
Quit your
So,
job. Quit your
we're
job.
trying to,
No.
you should just do this, YouTube, do YouTube full time.
Yeah, do YouTube
All kinds of
full-time,
people
yeah.
do that. All right. Well, hopefully you'll have a little more success this year. My first one, boring. Also something I brought up on the podcast, but I really do need to get organized. And I'm already starting to get organized because I want to run more stack sales this year. I want to do that more consistently throughout the year. I want to move a lot of cards. But if you're going to do that, you really need to get organized. So I want to separate the cards that I have for my stack sales by sport, and then I want to be able to separate them down from there by what I'm going to charge for them. So I want to have all this stuff ready at my disposal, so when I have my sale, I don't have to, like, this room here, you guys don't know how many boxes of cards I have laying under the table back there on the shelf over here you can't see. And then what I end up doing is I'll pull a box out, I'll start going through it, and then like I get addicted to looking for cards for my sale, and it kind of complicates getting ready for my sale, like putting the cards out, taking the pictures, because I'll go through one more box, and I need to have all these boxes here, go through them all, get those cards into my card houses sorted by sport. And that is a main goal that I'm already working on. So that's already better than I did with my resolutions last year.
He's got a card development happening with his
2
card.
Yes, 2 card houses. I might get a third.
You might need to get a third. Get the cul-de-sac, the card house cul-de-sac.
Like you can give the viewers a little bit of a taste if you just slide a little bit to your left and show them those stacks of unopened boxes right behind you.
And look at the cards back here. Yeah.
Mike, so I'm gonna pull back the curtain here. So Mike and his wife are empty nesters now, right? And you have a 4-bedroom house?
Yeah.
Plus you have an office.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the bedrooms is just where Mike's at right now.
This is
and
my
then
YouTube
he has an office
studio.
his YouTube studio.
Yeah.
Then he has an office downstairs that's also completely filled with cards. I'm waiting for you to take over like Sophia's old bedroom or something and just
Well,
expand.
that's the plan. Liam is only a sophomore in college now, but I want him to be gone for good so I can move over in that room, or I could just knock a hole in the wall here and make it
knock
one
down the wall.
big studio.
Huge
Yeah,
studio space.
we could
Fantastic.
do breaking from there and everything.
2025.
That's our breaking
resolutions.
studio. Yeah.
2025
Quit your
resolutions.
job. You could be the lead breaker for Mike.
Yeah,
That would be
absolutely. All right, Joe, your second resolution.
This one I'm gonna stretch for. I'm gonna reach. This is a reach, and it's a chicken and egg kind of situation. I want to consolidate my Tom Brady collection. So I've had the fun of I'm going to pick up this rookie card here, pick up that rookie card there. I've probably had over half of his rookie cards in my collection at some point or another. I've been moving them, I don't really care for this one anymore, so I'm going to sell it, but then I'm going to buy another one I like, kind of thing. I've got to the point where I think the only ones I really want to at some point own is some of the high-end ones, right? So my thought is, if I sell all my mid-range ones and put that money into one, I could pick up something pretty cool. So the ones that I are not leaving my collection, I'm going to keep the Bowman Chrome that I got from Mike from the shop. And I have the Pacific Aurora that I pulled back in the day. It was the only 3 Brady cards I found when I was going through my old collection, where there's 3 Pacific Aurora ones. I sold 2 of them. I kept one of them. So that one's not leaving the collection. The rest of them, with the exception of the SPX that I bought, which is kind of, at the time, kind of like my Tom Brady Grail card. It was my one that I didn't think I would be able to afford. And then I was able to move some stuff, and I was. But there are other Brady cards out there, and I'm not gonna lie, I would really like to get a playoff contenders Brady rookie. I cannot,
Wow.
I cannot, in good conscience, buy that without moving stuff. Like I have card money, sure, I could take from the card money and do that. That's just irresponsible, and it would be it would be a terrible choice. So
Very
my
responsible.
thinking is, my thinking is these like $500 to $1,000 ones that I have, sell those, and then buy something. Whether it's maybe it's the contenders, maybe it's the momentum, which is a very very cool card too, the playoff momentum, something. But it's a stretch goal. It's a stretch resolution. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I have to decide how I want to do it. Do I buy the card first and then start piecing these off? Do I wait to see
it's not typically how people do it?
Right. It's not. But then I don't want to sell the cards and then not have them and then not have the card that I want. Like it's almost like I want to take these cards and just trade them right away and get one back.
Let me throw something out there.
All right.
Document all of this on video so we can let the viewers follow the journey. And then I feel like that would be entertaining to see what cards you're selling, what you're getting for them, working toward, filling up that bar of how far you have to go to get the card you want. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think it would be a little anticlimactic if you got the card first. Do the work. Make yourself do the work.
It would be just sad seeing those cards like in a a box that I'm mailing to PSA to authenticate. Or
sad yet motivating.
Yeah, it is motivating.
Yeah.
I will say too, like I know for a fact that the ones I sell will not eat. If I wanted to playoff contenders, I'm gonna have to add money to it.
Oh yeah.
So if I can sell the ones I have and get like halfway there, or even 2/3 of the way there, I would be satisfied with adding from my card account, adding into to get that one card. I'd have to figure out what I would put on that display shelf where I have all my Brady cards. That's something else I need to think about. But yes, that's my number 2 goal. I think it's a stretch goal, but I think it's a possibility.
I like it.
Awesome.
I can't wait to follow along in that journey. As do
crossed.
The viewers. They are all commenting right now that, Joe, we want to watch that video series. So let them know. Let them know in the comments. All right, EP, your second resolution.
All right. Well, I've said before that like my when I'm only buying cards and collecting, it's like my hobby's at like 50-60%. When I am also selling them and shipping and all that sort of stuff, that bumps it up to 85-90-100%. Is when I'm doing all the parts of the hobby that I love, that's when things are going. So this is kind of similar to one of my goals from last year. So I want to just increase my sales a little bit. I want to get my listings on eBay up to 4,000.
Okay.
Which is put a number to it. It is, but with my scanner now, I can get about 60 cards a week pretty easily, and 60 cards a week is 3,000 more. So I was going to go 3,000, but it's like now I'll do 4,000 because that's a little bit more to work toward. I want to set up at 3 card shows. I've already said to myself, I'm going to set up at 2. I've already told the people I'm going to set up at 2. So just one more, and so I need to add one more to that list, and then I need to do a stack sale. I did a bunch of stack sales 2 years ago. I did really well, and I did great. I didn't do a single one last year, so just bring back a stack sale just because it's a lot of work. And Mike, obviously, Joe, you guys both know because you guys have both done them. But like, I want to just do one more just this year. So,
or you could sell the cards to me and let me do the work
at full price. EP, don't let him come at you with that 25 cents on the dollar.
I'm buying everything. Bulk pricing. Come on, man. And throw that die cut Allen Iverson in for me too.
I think for EP though, that is part of the fun, right? It's like selling it bulk would be, probably making money, but like you want the fun of actually doing the sale. Like you're loaded. You don't need the money.
I'm definitely not loaded, but I do enjoy all the parts of that. The things that I want to do, I do enjoy all of them. Stack sales, I don't want to do like one every month. That seems like a lot, but they are fun to do every once in a while. So
okay, I like it. All right, my second resolution is a little bit of a fun one, a little bit different, but you guys know the wrestling card community. I've talked to you guys. I don't know how much I've talked to the viewers, but the wrestling card community is, let's say, a little odd at times. There are a lot of people that really shouldn't have big egos that have really big egos in the wrestling card community. Some of them
Names?
like
Do you have names?
even like to have cards made of themselves. I would never do that. But I'm going to make it a resolution this year that even though on social media and whatnot, I see all kinds of stuff that just drive me crazy, I am not going to interact with any of the negativity and the trolling of the bizarre characters that
gonna last
populate
a
the
week.
wrestling card world. This will be a resolution that will be good for my health, good for my demeanor. I'll probably have a sparkle in my eye when I do the podcast and the shows every week. I am going to make sure that I just do not interact with any of the wrestling card negativity, specifically on Twitter.
Did they change April Fool's Day? Is it? Did they do something with the calendar? Like, what's going on here?
As Mike was saying that, he actually interacted with someone on Twitter in a negative way. I mean, it's kind of wild how it worked out. Like
the
that.
resolution was not done yet, Joe.
Okay, it wasn't
didn't count.
official yet. EP over under. I give this one a month, maybe. What's
Dude,
the over under?
Well, I mean,
weeks.
you gotta think about it. Like, we're recording this on a Sunday, and it comes out on a Wednesday. So he's got like 3 days or whatever to really get it out of his system.
I really do.
So when the resolution starts up,
yeah, you really better fire some shots here in the next 3 days.
But it's gonna be a week, less than a week, I bet. I put the line at 1 week.
The 1 week. The problem is you are on Twitter so much more than EP and I that it's hard. Like, Twitter is so good at pulling people in, the best of us, into the dumbest conversations about the most ridiculous things, that it's going to be, as much as you're on, it's going to be tough. Unless you block people, which, Mike, you could do that too. EP blocks people.
But then
like
I wouldn't get to see what they
it.
say.
See, but that's what reels you in, man. You get to see the crazy bullshit that these people are saying.
My own fault. I could easily block people or at least mute them, but yeah, like, I don't. Part of you doesn't want to miss the drama, but I'm not going to partake in the drama. So,
I mean, let's just name names at this point. Mike the Cleaner is just the biggest. No, I'm just joking. We love Mike the Cleaner. We love Mike.
We do.
Yeah, yes. That's a good one. That'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, it will be, no doubt. All right, Joe, your third resolution.
All right. So last year, Mike said he wanted to expand the channel. You know, all of us work to expand the channel, which was a good one. We did. I mean, I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but we really surpassed, as the Stephanie McMahon resolution aside, man, you killed it on that resolution. We really did. My resolution is channel related. I have this list of people who have agreed to do interviews or 8 questions or just take part in the channel in some way, shape, or form. All these people are like, oh, Spidey Hits actually reminded me. He said, wasn't I supposed to be on your channel at some point? Yes, Justin, you were. And we will definitely get to that in the new year. So I can't commit to a number, but my goal is at least 6, since there's 12 months in the year, I'll say 6 interviews or 8 questions or something to add to the channel with other content creators, other collectors, stuff like that. I think it would be good to have some different style content that we have from time to time, but we don't have consistently. So I'm going to try. That's my third one, channel related. Try and get some more people that have committed to being on the show, actually bring them on and get some interviews done.
I like it.
Yeah,
I blame
awesome.
EP. It's all EP's
I
fault.
think it's EP's fault on that one.
Because he's not available so much because he works 150 hours a week. But, Joe, you and I, being the gracious, loving people we are, feel guilty if EP isn't involved.
A lot of the time, like, we're joking a little for effect, but like we made sure, like when Chris Sewell was on for 8 questions and we got that, we wanted to make sure EP was there because it would be ridiculous if he wasn't. So a lot of the folks, even when I had some comic book folks on, I mean, we still wanted EP to be there for Barry Gary and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do kind of work around EP schedule, which can be tough, but we'll try and do better this year.
And he sends us all those text messages like, "No, go ahead, guys. You can do it without me. I understand."
Yeah,
and it like just he's such a nice guy that when he does
really
that, we
takes
just
into your heart.
We just can't do it without him.
So EP, your third resolution better be get more time by quitting my job.
That sounds like a horrible resolution. That sounds like a very bad idea.
I'm doing YouTube full time. You gotta imagine it and then make it happen.
Right, exactly. Dream it, believe it.
I will. However, my third one, I will say, air high five, Joe, because mine is also channel related.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
This is something that we've talked to you guys about. I'm putting it out there right now as a resolution. I'm going to start a new show. It's going to be like a weekly show, 5 to 7 minutes, where I just talk about a topic, and maybe even 3 minutes, depending on how much I have to talk about. Where I just talk about, I'm going to talk about funding your PC using the hobby itself, which is, I think, is a huge thing. Going through some of the cards that I've picked up along the way with when I'm buying mini collections, that sort of stuff. Like, I think there are a lot of things. There are a lot of times I'm like we get done talking on the show, and I'm like, gosh, I wanted to talk about X, Y, and Z, or I wanted to talk a few more minutes about X, Y, and Z. And this gives me an opportunity to kind of do some of that stuff. And maybe I'm introducing some topics that maybe we bring back later or whatever. But I really want to do that. And I think it's going to be a fun little thing. It's not going to be super long, that I think some of our viewers will like.
And this show will be on Fanatics Live, in case people are wondering.
The one thing
I like it.
Yeah. Ahead, the one thing I would suggest, EP, is like, and by the way, I don't care that we talk about baseball releases from time to time, but I do think, like, when you want to do like a kind of in-depth-ish in 3 to 5 minutes about the new Bowman's Best or whatever, like something that I don't think there's a ton of meat on the bone for our podcast.
A product preview,
something like that. I think people would really enjoy those. Are you writing that down, EP?
I am writing it down right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I think that would be a good segment for people to look at. And I like, it's partially on me. I have no interest in any of those products. So I just kind of sit there with a blank look on my face. But yeah, I think that would be something fun that people would like. Maybe if you get the checklist ahead of time, not ahead of time, but like when Cardboard Connection or Beckett puts out the checklist of the set, you could go through and say what you're really interested in, what might be new from the previous year, stuff like that. I think people would find that interesting.
Yeah,
I like it. The more content, the better. Let's fill up all 7 days. And okay, I'll call an audible here too. I'll go with the content related one, since
high fives all around for everybody.
Yeah,
high tens. I think we've talked about this. I want to do wrestling card content. And we talked about having a day, I think we thought Thursday, that's when the wrestling card podcast is uploaded. But I want to do some wrestling card specific content, because we do have a lot of viewers that like wrestling card content too. Videos usually do pretty well. And, I have some ideas in my brain about what I'd like to do. I'd like to kind of do my own version of 8 questions with wrestling card collectors. I don't have to fight with people that way. I can stay off of Twitter. I can get to know people in a little more normal environment. And like, I feel like those videos will do really good. So I want to start up a new series of wrestling card content. If I do rips and stuff, I'll just put it on Thursday, and I want to kind of make it Wrestling Card Thursday on the channel. So
awesome.
Damn it. Why do we have to do the Wednesday show on Wednesdays? Because it could be Wrestling Card Wednesdays.
I know that's what it's supposed to be, but we have this show stealing all the time here. So this one was here first. But yeah, so that's my thought on that, and I'll rip off a little bit. I'm still trying to come up with the questions. I don't want to just take the 8 questions and use it that way. I want to kind of tailor a little more toward wrestling cards. So if anybody has ideas, let me know in the comments. But let me know if you think that's a good idea. Let us know what your resolutions
Yes.
are, and let us know if you think we're going to keep any of these. Whatever you do,
That's a good question.
don't go back and watch the one from last year and count how many we kept.
Before we end the show, I do need to say yours is to stay off of Twitter a little bit more, kind of, sort of, right? Like, don't interact so negatively. Mine last year, if you remember, was to interact more on hobby Twitter.
How'd that go, Joe?
And I'm like, after about a month of actually doing it, I'm like, oh, this place is the worst. I'm out, and I got out. I got out. I couldn't stay. I couldn't stand it.
Well, come on. We all know that nobody keeps their New Year's resolutions anyway. So really, you can't judge us any more harshly than you judge yourself. Did you lose 10 pounds? No, I don't think you did. All right, guys, that was a fun conversation, and we will be back next week. See you guys.
See you, boys.
See ya.